Social media-based login provides a neat and user-friendly means of logging into your website. Users are more likely to trust this method of login because of high level of security provided by various social media platforms. It helps us simplify the sign-in process by delegating it to social media platforms. In this tutorial, we present a project that requires a user to log in with his Google account, and once he logs in, then he is shown his email ID, name and profile picture. First of all, follow the steps explained in this video. The video is in the previous tutorial of this course. Use those steps to create an OAuth app on your Google Cloud Console. Secondly, take note of the NuGet package that you will have to add to your ASP.NET Core project. Microsoft.ASP.NET Core.Authentication.Google. This package contains most of the boilerplate code for completing the login process. I have already created an ASP.NET Core project that you can obtain from the downloads attached to this video. So we'll now examine the files and code written there. Open the Solution Explorer and locate the Pages folder. We have two files. The first is the index file, the home page. This file has a link to the second page called Profile. So when the user runs the project, he will see this link. Let's have a look at the profile page now. Double click to open this page. This page has been marked with the authorize attribute. This means that this is a protected page. When the user tries to open this page, he will automatically receive a challenge that will redirect him to the Google login page. We'll discuss that code very shortly. This page merely displays the Google profile picture, then the name of the user as obtained from his Google account and also his email. There is a sign out link also. The code for sign out kills the login cookie. And lastly, let's now examine the program.cs file. Open the Solution Explorer and locate the program.cs file. Double click to open it. You will have to install this NuGet package for the code to compile. After that, we have the namespaces and the usual calls to create builder and add razor pages. Authentication service is configured next with the default scheme and default challenge scheme set to cookies and Google exactly as shown. The call to add cookie configures various cookie defaults. The most important settings are done through the Add Google extension. The values for client ID and client secret must match exactly to the ones as shown on your Google console page. We have hard-coded them only for the sake of tutorial, but in a real project you should not hard-code them. You should put them in settings. You should put them in your environment variables or in a more secure place. So we had to simplify the tutorial, so I have just hard-coded them here. Map JSON key can be used to obtain a URL for the profile picture. If you do not add this call, then you will not receive the URL to the profile picture. And lastly, we have subscribed to the ticket received event. This event is raised after a user has successfully authenticated from the login page of Google. We can extract the email at this point, or we could have obtained name identifier, which is a unique ID maintained by social media platforms. Once you have the email ID, then you can process it in whatever manner you like. You might, for example, want to determine if the email exists in your database already. If the user doesn't exist, then you might want to add him and a default profile and add also a default profile to your database. Then you can assign a role to the user also. We have assumed that after query, a role called admin is assigned to the user. This is usually done after a database query and a role is given to the user. And after that, this role is added to the claims principal. And once a role is assigned, the user has been authenticated. We can optionally now create a persistent cookie. so that the user doesn't have to log in very frequently. If no role could be applied, we can treat the user as not authenticated. So we can redirect him to an access denied page. We haven't added this page to this project, you can add it yourself. And after that we have the usual lines for running this app. And now you can run the project to open the home page. Click on the link, click to login by Google. This link points to the protected profile page. But since we need an authorization, we are automatically redirected to the Google login website. Click on the test email account that you added when creating the Google app on the Google console and use the same test email and make a login. Allow the process to complete. We observe that we reach the protected profile page now. User email, name and profile picture, everything appears as expected. And now click on the sign out link. We observe that we reach the home page again. Thus we have a working example of Google-based authentication and authorization. You can similarly implement Facebook, Twitter and other authentications. Thank you.